this is going to be one of those type of subjects where literally everyone's on one side of this subject. But I don't think people know why it's a one-sided subject. It's a situation and it's an issue that has escalated for a long period of time. And it's only until now people realize that this is the situation. This is the problem. So let's go ahead and just kind of cut into this. What kind of started the whole debacle discussion is that BlizzCon came up, and a lot of fans of Blizzard was there. Obviously Blizzard is like a big gaming convention, or not a convention, but a big game distributor itself. It's made World of Warcraft. It's the one that's made Diablo, Overwatch. They have created games for a long period of time, and fans love them. So it was a very big surprise to hear what Blizzard did. And what they did was that they basically said, as an announcement, that they are making a new Diablo game, but it was only going to be for Android and mobile devices. And their quoting words was, "We are making Diablo for mobile handheld devices, no plans for PC." Those were their exact words. Before a large amount of dispute was thrown back at them. We're talking like the whole crowd was completely pissed off. I don't think I have ever heard of a fan base that is so strong as Blizzard is, only to all of a sudden hit downhill that quickly. It was very... How can I put this? It was both joyful and disappointing. I say joyful because we now hit that wall. We finally hit it. It's like at first I was like, at this point there's no stopping point to these companies that's making these mobile games and stuff. Now we've hit that wall. And I'm hoping that companies realize this is not making money anymore. This is finally going to crash. But unfortunately, it's not going to crash in one night, unfortunately. It's going to crash starting now. Like, it has to start now. If it doesn't start now, it will eventually. So, let's get into this. Okay, we're going to look at this from two angles. Okay, we're going to look at it from a company perspective and a consumer's perspective. Okay? And by consumers, I mean fans of the series and stuff like that. So, as a company, you have to look at okay, what's going to make me the most money? What's going to help make the company grow? What's going to benefit us in the long run? And unfortunately, they have figured that the best thing that's making everybody else money is to go into the mobile market. That is the unfortunate fact. Now, you can even look it up on the internet. It is that easy to find. You can find it anywhere. The information is not private, but I'll get to that in just a sec. Basically, according to the percentage of sales, $50 billion is invested in mobile gaming. Mobile handheld phone devices. And that is a shocking to me, but not a shocker to me. And like I said, I'll get back to that subject in just a sec. But to know that that money growth is right there, that is way more money investment that you would need just to do whatever project you might have come up with. Having a mobile phone concept idea like this is a brilliant perspective. It's a way to make money. It's an easy way to make income. And, depending on the person itself, it's a good way to invest other players to get into one of many games that they could be opened up to. And the sad thing is that This happens a lot more often than you think. You know, you have a lot of people who play quick little mobile games on their phones. You know, everybody from all different ages. You have 80-year-old retired people playing on their smartphones Candy Crushes. You have people who goes overseas to other countries. They're probably playing something simple like solitaire on their smartphone. You've got little kids that play little addicting click games. It's so easy to find these stupid little mobile games on a phone. It is so easy. And at the same time, it's also a brilliant ideal for a company to just go into. And depending on how Blizzard was doing it to begin with, this may have been like one step from like another level. They were like, okay, we don't really have the next true installment of Diablo, but we want to give you something to help pass the time until we get Diablo 4 set up. So here's this mini Diablo that you might enjoy. But that's from a seller perspective. That is from a marketing perspective. Let's look into the consumer aspects. Now, remember how I said that mobile phone games make an average of like 50 billion total? That is not calculated. That just says strictly through mobile gaming. They're not even going as far as to say which distributor in that category is from what. You know, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this. Imagine a free game. You know, there's a free game that you can download. You know, it's easy to play and stuff like that. It's not necessarily free. Let's put it in that perspective. It's only free to get access to. It's not free to completely play on hours on end. And they cleverly make these addicting games to where you want to keep playing them a little bit more at a time. And you're usually within a time frame of the amount of time you can actually play. And sometimes that time frame is anywhere between like 5 to 10 minutes to maybe even 20-30 minutes, depending. And after that time, you have to wait like a whole day before you can keep playing it any further. This is how they do this. This is how it's strategically done. Now, of course, there are other games that do it differently, but this is like the most common method. You play it for a short brief of time, and then if you want to play more, then they put in a charge fee of like certain, for example, there are certain games where you have to have a certain amount of power, a certain amount of currency, a certain amount of stuff in order to do any form of progression within the game. Now, record, everything is self-generated, but it's not generated fast enough. It's usually like within a 24-hour span that it generates enough to where you can actually do a lot with it. And of course, with that being said, once you run out of resources, then you're stuck with two options. Either you wait 24 hours for more resources to build up, or you pull out your credit card, debit card, or whatever, and pay whatever fee in order to bring in more resources. And this is where the most majority of money comes into, these microtransactions. Microtransactions has become a problem for gamers for a long time. And it doesn't get any better, unfortunately. It more or less gets worse. And the biggest problem is that gamers ourselves fall for this every time. You know, it's the fact that it is a game. We want to keep playing that game, you know. There's always something that you want to go for in order to progress in that game. And as a gamer, we want to keep going. We don't want to stop. We want to keep playing it. So what do? Well, obviously, depending on the person's income, they'll sink in more money into that game, and more, just to where that way they can keep progressing. And that doesn't stop there. You also have the fact that you have these loot crates that has been invented. These loot crates usually generate certain items, certain stuff that helps either improve your character or are cosmetics at times. And this is a situation that has gotten better, but it's because of Blizzard that it became a problem to begin with. They're not the first one, but they were like the main one that people noticed. And then EA escalated it even higher. These aren't the main one that's caused the problem, but they're the most noticeable because they are the highest tiers. And they are like the target that people recognize. You know, there are multiple companies that make mobile games and make these loot boxes, loot cash boxes, currencies, and microtransactions and stuff of that nature. So in other words, Blizzard and EA are not the first ones, and they're not the main ones, but they're like the top ones that people usually focus on, so therefore everyone is watching them. So therefore that's where the main focus usually comes in. That being said, you also have the fact that there's a lot of different cosmetics that you can get, like different skins, different color textures, different mods and stuff like that. But then you also got like optional items like better guns, better weapon, better armor, different stuff of that nature. The problem is that those specialty stuff require money. And this is where people get the term pay to win. You know, you get the best of everything and stuff like that, and you probably spend an average of like, let's just throw this number out there, $1,000 just to get the best gear you can get. You didn't spend hours on end, you just wasted $1,000 just to make your character look the best that he can look, just so that he can kill everything out there. These microtransactions are a big problem. And I dare any company that has a mobile handheld device, I want them to equally evaluate where that money is coming from. And especially if that game is free to download. If that game is free to download, they need to do an average chart of where the money is being put into. Like 30% is being put towards cosmetic stuff. 30% is being towards microtransactions or like item resources or stuff of that nature. Point is, if $50 billion is being put into mobile gaming, where is that money generating from? Specifically. Like, where is it being at? And that's the problem, is that you have people who play Diablo for the grind fest, for the journey. They want to play it to make their own armor. They want to be able to earn the armor itself. They don't want to be stuck behind a boundary between getting the better armor and having to pay for it. You know? And that's the issue that most people have with it. It is because of the fact that the microtransactions hurts the game. It's not a main staple. You know, you can get certain stuff just by either grinding eons on end just to get it. I mean, we're talking like beyond RPG level. Beyond MMO RPG level for that matter. We're talking grind that is so stupidly ridiculous that you're wasting more time just getting it. You know what I mean? The other issue is, we're talking Blizzard. Blizzard is literally one of the top tier gaming companies out there. One of, not the, but one of the main headlines. You know, we're talking like in line with like Valve, Nintendo, stuff like that. Big gaming corporation. They are the top tier of gaming. Okay? They are the top. They're the top dogs. So, for them to go into the mobile marketing, where they've been known for making quality games, very high detail quality games, and then to water down to a mobile phone game. Yeah. Geez, I wonder why people are pissed off now. Because they're not going to get a good quality Diablo game. They're just getting a watered down, shitty mobile app game. That is literally where people go at. That's another reason. The third reason, and this is probably the most notable reason that I think of, is that they have spoiled their fan base. They have spoiled their audiences. And I've talked about this with another person, and he agrees with me because he is a big fan of Blizzard. He's a big fan of Diablo. And I mentioned this to him, and he says, yes, you're absolutely right. And that's the fact that Blizzard has spoiled their PC users. They have spoiled them so badly. And what I mean by spoil them, I mean they have helped them deliver the best quality in gaming. Keep in mind, PC gaming has grown because of Blizzard. They're not the main ones, but they are one of the best top-tier gaming companies, and because they deliver such quality gaming, that PC gaming has gotten bigger, and people has invested like thousands of dollars, ridiculously thousands of dollars, just to make these super uber powered computers, just to be able to play these games in just amazing, glorious picture, to have them run in the best FPS that can possibly be run. We're talking like the best quality gaming in the entire world. Okay? And then to all of a sudden have one game being put on a mobile phone device, which arguably isn't that powerful. It's sufficient, but it's not as powerful as a gaming PC. You know, when you think about it, you know, it's like, ask anyone who has a gaming PC and has it built on their own. Ask them how much money it costs them just to get the parts. How much did it cost to build it? How much did it cost entirely just to get the setup that they wanted? They'll tell you. They'll tell you. It's expensive. You know, keep in mind, my PC that I've got, I built that one, and it only cost me like almost $800. Okay? So keep in mind, I didn't go for that top tier. Keep in mind, it wasn't meant to be a gaming PC. It was only meant to, you know, capture footage of games and stuff like that. So, in all honesty, in terms of my settings, it's not that high tier. However, though, there are other gamers out there. There are PC gamers. What they call themselves the master PC race. They make their PCs, and it costs them thousands of dollars. Okay, we're talking like... I have to say, if someone actually got started right off the bat when it comes to building their PC, it's probably right around $5,000. That's insane. That's a large amount of money. But they do this. They do this so that way they can keep playing their favorite games in the highest quality that they could possibly do it in. And to do that, they want to do it for games that are coming up that are going to be put for PC. And let's face it, there's no denying this. Blizzard is a PC company. It is a PC gaming company. What with World of Warcraft being an MMO series that you can play online, is mostly used for PC. You have Diablo. Originally, Diablo 1 was released for PC, but then eventually got a PS1 release, I believe. And then, of course, Diablo 2 got released for PC, followed by its PS1 release as well. Diablo 3 got released for PC first, if I'm not mistaken. It got released for PC, and then eventually became a PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 release, only to then be upgraded for PS4, Xbox One, and now all of a sudden the Nintendo Switch, which is a surprise, really. Not so surprised, but surprise enough. You then also have Overwatch, and anyone who's played Overwatch, you can testify. The majority of the percentage of people who play Overwatch are on PC. There is no argument here. There is no argument. They are heavily PC investment. And then for them to all of a sudden take an immediate left turn just to go for mobile phone is probably the most stupidest thing they've ever done. They've literally went downgraded. But here's the problem. What's their main concern? They're going after the Asian market. And what's the Asian market? Mobile phone games. Are you that dumb? Are you literally that dumb? Are you so blinded by the fact that you have a large platform that's so big that if you even tip the scales just enough, it could topple over? Okay, Blizzard, you are literally the biggest company. I am not a Blizzard fan. Okay, I am not a Blizzard fan. But I can see from a distance what's going on. I have friends who are Blizzard fans, who are major fans of Diablo, who are major fans of Overwatch, who are major hardcore fans of World of Warcraft, okay? You are the top dogs. And yet you decide to go to this level. There's a reason why people are pissed off at you. There's a reason why. And if you want to risk it, record, okay? Freedom of development. I understand. Freedom of development. You are free to develop whatever game you so see fit. But you're going to see real quickly how this will transition. If this doesn't get you the numbers that you were wanting, you best stay where you were at. Which is mostly like your PC-driven games. Okay? Mobile phone marketing will eventually go down. And Blizzard will start that tumble. I've actually hoped that this so-called mobile marketing will eventually go down, but so far it has not. Instead, it has escalated out of control. But it looks like it's going to go downhill soon, because of what Blizzard has done. So, who's to say, really? I may be wrong. This is, after all, just a thought, after all. Who's to say if I'm correct that the mobile market will go downhill from here? Who's to say that it will improve at all? But you never know. Anyway, those guys, I just want to go ahead and just kind of throw this in here because I thought this was a very interesting subject, but it's also a sad subject to see that it's gone to this level. It's kind of insane. But anyway, those guys, until then, see you in the next video. Catch you later, guys.